We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is still your current reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling champion of the world, Scholar Tarek. Tarek, how's your night going so far?
Well, since you put the introduction that way, I think it should be more the reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling champion of the world, Scholar Tarek.
Weak.
And still, Mr. Scholar in the bank, one and only Beefcakes Brian. How's your night been?
There's no head bopping, as you can see, because the event that we were forced to sit through on Friday doesn't deserve any head bopping. And weak intro. You could have lasted at least another 10 seconds, I know that.
That's what she said?
She's
a whore. I hope there's no first-time listeners listen to this show, or else there would be a whole lot of questions. But besides
we don't have time to give you the answers.
However, we do have a lot of answers, not only for the results of Super Showdown from this past Friday, but we also have a little bit to talk about in a little segment we like to call Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall go ahead and be peeking behind that curtain and checking in on a little
Backstage News. Moxley.
Yes.
Moxley Asylum backstage news.
Yeah, apparently everyone's favorites and mine.
With the asylum shit.
everyone's favorite former asylum seeker and mine, John Moxley, has been quite prolific lately, starting with the announcement just recently that for AEW All Out, it's going to be John Moxley versus Kenny Omega.
In an announcement that everyone saw coming, but it's still... exactly.
You knew it's going to happen
exactly
eventually.
What he did. You knew it was coming, but even though you knew it, the moment it was confirmed, you just go,
It's a legit... It is a modern-day legit dream match.
It's actually happening, and with the way that Moxley has been performing, like this is the Moxley of old. We haven't seen anything completely crazy like he used to pull in CZW, but this is a Moxley that you can tell, like he's getting there. He's getting those sea legs back. He's still kind of performing the WWE kind of thing. But, okay, you can see glimpses of that old Moxley coming out. Basically, that United States title match in NJPW last week. One of the best matches I've seen from him in years, because you can actually see that he's...
not going through the motions.
Going through the motions. You saw moves that he hasn't done before. Okay? And he made his opponent look like $1 million in the process.
Sorry,
Juice Robinson.
Sorry, EC3.
Poor EC3.
But we all know that wasn't John Moxley or EC3's fault.
Oh, no. You're absolutely right. It isn't, but it's still... That's just a sad story.
Poor luck of the draw.
So it's one of those, he's the talk of the town right now. He's the hottest thing in wrestling, and he's performing the way the hottest thing in wrestling should perform at the moment. And good God, okay, I know we're talking about Omega versus Moxley right now, but the promos that Moxley and Janela have been cutting on each other in those lead-up videos to Fyter Fest. Holy shit. Like, it's one of those, I'm excited for Omega versus Moxley. Who wouldn't be? Okay? But my mind is focused on this
on
match.
the now, yeah.
Right here, because the way they're building it up, this has got to be a bloody massacre.
Mm-hmm.
These two are gonna fuck each other up hard, and it's free streaming on Bleacher Report Live, so I could actually watch it.
Yeah, this. I'll tell you what, someone at CEO deserves all the credit in the world, so thanks, fellas. Tip our hat to you. But then again, I also saw a little bit of other news that it was exciting and also simultaneously troubling because, yeah, you know where this is going. Jon Moxley also announced that he would be entering into the G1 climax.
Climax! Moxley's hitting that climax! Oh!
Guess who else is? Kojima!
Which means that we eventually on this show we're going to have to talk about the G1 climax again.
Climaxes for days.
That's such a tragedy.
Look at the sad face. Look at the annoyed face.
I don't want to hear another month's worth of climax jokes. This is if we get some sort of strike against us on YouTube because of us talking about the G1 climax, then
have you listened to YouTube videos these days? Us screaming climax every 10 minutes. Tip of the iceberg. We're fine.
Now with Jon Moxley being in that climax, it'll be a lot more than Renee Young reaching that climax, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's been 4 confirmed. Because Jericho confirmed too. So, the 4 participants confirmed for said climax is enough to get me ready for a big climax. Because you've got Jon Moxley, you've got Chris Jericho, you've got the guy who put on quite possibly a match of the year contender, Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi, who put his name in there. And you have Kenta, otherwise known as Hideo Itami, otherwise known as Kojima! That's it. So, it's a very good lineup, and also, Moxley has abducted himself a young lion. And let me tell you, that dude does the Undertaker real well. If you look at
I'll just say this year's G1 is going to be an experience that'll just lead to one great climax.
You can drive, right? You're passed out right now, but you can drive.
Wow. Let's start pulling out those cigarettes. Pull
out those cigarettes, get ready for nap time because the climax is coming.
I think we'll all agree this is all going to be a climax that we will never ever forget.
Oh. Absolutely not.
One we won't want to.
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? But no, until then, until we get our great climax,
Speaking of things that we want to forget.
Yes. We do need to talk about the latest production from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia with the WWE. We've got the WWE Super Showdown 2019. It's in the books. So let's go down the card, shall we?
I will say this.
Let's go down the card.
I will say this to lead off. It's still not my least favorite of the 3. I will say that.
Oh,
agreed.
Crown Jewel.
But
yeah, need I say more?
However, go ahead.
Well, let's run down it. First on the pre-show, we've got the Usos defeating the Revival. Once we can collectively agree that once we found out that this was not going to be for the titles.
Neither of them had the title.
Neither of them had the titles at the time, so yeah, it was a non-title.
Yeah, Revival just won it this past Monday, so
never mind.
Which is more of the build for the new corporation / authority, this time led by Shane O'Mac,
Oh,
This
please.
was-
The best in the world, Shane O'Mac.
This match basically confirmed to me what this show was.
House show. Glorified house
Like
show.
even if you had thoughts beforehand that this could be something that they were taking seriously and treating it like an actual pay-per-view, this match should have told you
No.
this was typical house show match.
Like
Okay.
it wasn't a bad match.
It wasn't bad. It was fine. but-
It's two teams that actually know how to put two great tag teams who know how to put on a really good match. And
But this was basically, we're gonna have you in a feud. You're gonna have better matches. This is a warm up. This is a practice match for those matches in the future. And this was basically paint by numbers tag team match. Okay, you had the faces get off to a good start. The heels take over for a good 5 to 7 minutes, and then the faces come in and get the hot tag and get the house show win. So this was as it was put back in the older days. Okay, this was perfectly acceptable wrestling.
And
Nothing good, nothing great, nothing bad. There, it was fine.
And that's really the best thing you can say about the whole pay-per-view, like, itself, because just from hearing everything that's going on backstage, you could just tell everybody was just going through the motions.
Yep.
See, I didn't necessarily see it quite like everyone was just going through the motions, per se. More like they knew their audience, that this is a group of fans that was only going to get one big show a year, one or two big shows a year.
It's two shows
Okay,
a year.
yeah, that's why I corrected myself. So either way, it's not something they get all the time. So they really would not have to work very hard to get the audience to pop and react and get their money's worth. Plus, all the production value was going to be enough to send everyone home happy anyway. So I can see why certain decisions were made in this respect. And that goes all the way down the card, which, again, we'll talk more about. Including this next one, Seth Rollins defeating Baron Corbin. This one was a fairly easy call. I think we all put this one down.
And I think that this was one of two matches that felt to me like it could be like a pay-per-view match. Like this, they treated this match like it was a pay-per-view match. Okay, I will say this: it was the best I've seen Baron Corbin in the ring in quite a bit. He hit all of his moves, and they look crisp. They look great. It was probably because of the person he was in the ring with, but I will give him props where props are due. Okay, he did not bore the shit out of me like he normally does. So, and then Seth Rollins, but okay, as they do with Baron Corbin always, they make him look like a complete fucking moron at the end of the match. Grab a chair. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do just fine.
That is a sure way for you to get the title, you dumb shit.
And then the ref throws the chair out of the ring. Baron Corbin goes all mega girl on him. I know how to do my job. Do yours. Referee gets pissed. We go back to that trope.
And roll up.
Pushes him back. Roll up by Seth Rollins. Gets to 1, 2, 3. I'm fine with the roll up in this case because of the rib injury that they were selling. So I'm like, okay, that goes with the.
It's just a way to keep the feud going.
That goes with the story.
Do we want the feud to continue? Not really.
No.
But you know what? Going with the story, a roll-up finish makes sense. With the rib injury and with the Brock Lesnar thing going on, you knew that Baron Corbin was going to come back into the ring and hit the end of days. It was very well
executed.
Well executed. Okay. As I said, best Baron Corbin performance I've seen in a long time, probably due to the opponent. But hey, props where they're due. And then what happened after the match? This was my favorite part of the entire pay-per-view. Okay, and it happened on the curtain jerk. So that's it. Because Brock Lesnar comes out, Paul Heyman being Paul Heyman, falls over the middle rope. The briefcase hits the floor. Brock Lesnar has a dumb ape moment where he's like, "Why is my briefcase on the floor?"
What'd you do?
And then that gives Seth Rollins the opportunity to murder him with a steel chair. Did you see that elbow?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit rough.
And now we can go to the Money in the Bank winning participant that I like to see. The one where you don't know where he's going to come out and cash it in. It's now completely random, as it should be at all times. None of this, I want to cash in, one-on-one match. I'm telling you I'm cashing in this Friday. You won't know when this Friday, but I'm cashing in this Friday. But it was this entire segment and match, except for the ending with the Baron Corbin looking stupid, I liked. I liked this segment a lot.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good. It was about what I expected, and again, maybe it was just still that time of day when I was watching a live wrestling show that it was still novel to me. It hadn't really worn out its welcome just yet. So I'd say, all things considered, this was a very enjoyable match and segment and whatever else you want to call this.
I really don't have anything to say about it, really.
Fair enough.
It happened. It's just now the way to get Brock Lesnar off TV for a while. Okay. I don't mind it. Let us have a break from Brock Lesnar.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about Brock Lesnar matches.
No, you're thinking about this pay-per-view, and good for you.
What, me thinking about a pay-per-view?
You thinking about this pay-per-view and going...
No. That was a yawn. Anyway, moving on to the next match, we had Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor, defeating Andrade, which, again, very predictable outcome, but the theatrics were still very fun.
And the match itself was actually was a really entertaining match. I actually found this match was actually my match of the night, or match of the day, for us.
Here's where
I just thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. It was great storytelling, and for me personally, it was just so much fun seeing the Demon Finn Balor just slowly disappear and start becoming Man Balor. Just because of how hot, 100-degree weather, he is sweating off that body paint. And like I said, Demon Balor was just slowly disappearing and bringing back to the Man Balor.
Which is effect I've always loved. When that battle damage comes out, eventually the demon runs out of steam, and it's up to Finn Balor to take care of it the rest of the way.
Well, this one just happened really fast, just because, like I said, these guys are wrestling in 100-degree weather. So basically, these two are basically wrestling in a bath of sweat.
Yeesh. I don't know how they do it.
And here's where we differ a little bit. Because, yeah, the match was good. I enjoyed it. But once again, house show match. We know that these guys can and will do better.
But it's a house.
I understand.
It's a house show. That's the frame of mind. And for a house show, this one was the best for me.
And I understand that. But if you're gonna act like WWE acted, like this is just as big or whatever as WrestleMania, then you should treat it like a pay-per-view and not and not a house show. We understand that it's a house show, but if you are going to announce it the way that you do, and you're just going to have house show style matches. Okay, I'm not going to... I know that these guys can do better. As a house show match, yes, it was great. I agree. But we know that on a regular pay-per-view where the WWE actually gives you shit, these guys are going to go all out, do even better than what they did. And you can see, when you see that these guys are holding back, not doing all their best moves, and not being the way that they are, it does take away from the enjoyment that I have. So while Finn Balor versus Andrade was good, and I especially enjoyed Andrade after Finn Balor kicked out of his finisher going, "My finish! My finish!" That was a very good. Finally, we have a reaction that actually works with the thing, with the situation. But if you know you're going to treat it like a house show style match, why do we have the Demon? And secondly, when you know it's a house show style match, it does bring my enjoyment down a little bit, knowing that on a regular pay-per-view, these guys are going to go all out and definitely be match of the night. Easy. So, it was good. It was there. It was fine. Typical house show fare. The best part of house show fare, but still house show fare.
Again, it's always fun to see the Demon, but again, it's the worst thing that this match did was it met my expectations and did not proceed to go a step more, if that makes sense. But at least in the realm of surprises, I'm surprised they took this route. Shane McMahon defeated Roman Reigns.
We should have known better. Okay, the way they're booking Shane McMahon, the way they're booking Shane McMahon right now. Okay, it's not like Drew McIntyre helped Shane McMahon and he beat Roman Reigns by the skin of his teeth. No, Shane McMahon was going mano a mano with Roman Reigns the entire goddamn match. Okay, if anyone should not be able to go man-to-man with Roman Reigns, it's that guy, best in the world or not. Okay.
Yeesh.
It wasn't like... I don't even think Drew McIntyre was really needed. Except for that one bit. Okay, because Shane McMahon, without Drew McIntyre's help, was beating Roman Reigns on his own. I just said that. That's a real statement, and it's true. That's it.
And that should not be. I don't care who you are. That should not be. Shane McMahon was never that great. He was entertaining to watch, I'll grant you. But this is Shane McMahon we're talking about versus a man who's more of a trained athlete and is completely in his prime.
Even the biggest Roman Reigns hater is watching this match going, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah, really.
And for what the speculation is going backstage,
no,
they're setting up Shane McMahon winning the WWE Championship.
And if that happens, I'm done. I'm out.
That is a horrible idea. No. This Shane McMahon thing has gone way too far. You cannot go any further, and if you do, you're stupid. No.
If this is how you think you're going to get ratings on Fox when the time comes, okay, you're going to be canceled within a month. It's a bad idea.
It's just more solidifying, just like from how they just had him beat Roman Reigns. Yes, from the help of Drew McIntyre, but he still have him in the books.
And let me
Shane
guess,
McMahon beat Roman Reigns, and then having an hour's worth of a 5-hour WWE programming, weekly programming, dedicating to Shane McMahon. Once again, it's solidifying.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one.
What I was just afraid when they announced this wild card rule. It's killing the program. It's killing good television. It's killing the moral of your wrestlers backstage. The wrestlers today are now at least in WWE, the wrestlers on the main roster are pretty much at their lowest right now. That video of EC3 from that came up from a year ago when he was in TakeOver. Yeah, there you go. From when he was at TakeOver.
Pouring out for EC3.
Year later at Main Event. It perfectly solidifies what the roster is going through. And also, this past week, Kevin Owens, who wasn't on the show for obvious reasons, for his friend Sammy. You can tell during this week, he was going just through the motions. You can just tell he's mentally checked out. And now we have wrestlers who don't even show up now. SmackDown had a main event dark match. Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. It actually had people losing their damn minds on this. And that is a dark match because they had to have time filled to celebrate Shane McMahon. Pretty much the exact same story that they had on Raw.
And the only reason Shinsuke got that match was because, unfortunately, Andrade's mother passed away while they were in Saudi Arabia, so they needed someone to fill his spot. So, the dark match would have been Finn Balor versus Andrade for the Intercontinental title. So
even then, so
it's like
you would have passed up Shinsuke Nakamura, really?
Now, okay,
leave it to WWE to take someone like Shinsuke Nakamura and just completely make him irrelevant.
Yep. And let's face it, okay? We know where this feud is going, okay? Shane McMahon can beat Roman Reigns, but Drew McIntyre won't be. So it goes back to you're pushing this guy who is the best in the world, the boss's son, okay, and you're gonna have your top superstar lose to him, but he's gonna go over your greatest heel on that side.
It
makes no sense.
And then something that Ollie Davis from Wrestle Talk, from what he's speculating, and from what they're doing, it's just so bad that it could possibly happen, that they're building Kofi Kingston up so strong, so when Shane beats him for the WWE title, it's a bigger deal, which makes the main event for SummerSlam, Roman Reigns defeating Shane McMahon for the WWE Championship just to make Roman Reigns look stronger. Then he said that, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this to happen. He doesn't want this to happen, but
it's Vince McMahon.
But it's a Vince McMahon logic, so you can see it happen. And if that happens at SummerSlam, I think I'm going to start checking out. At least on the main roster.
As soon as Shane McMahon wins the title, I'm checking out.
If we're still in the if zone,
it's just random people talking at this bit.
It's speculation and people fantasy booking, but it's fantasy booking that is likely because it's run by a guy who just at one time who made WWE what it is today. And from the good aspect, and now to that terrible, terrible aspect. And I even said it on Twitter. Hey, I said, dude, Vince McMahon, how does it feel that you are the lethal dose of poison that you were going to get, that you gave WWF all those years ago? You're that now. You're killing your product.
You want to see the floodgates open of wrestlers going to other companies? Have Shane McMahon win the title. And watch, in the days after, how many times you see the WWE go, we wish this person the best of luck in their future endeavors.
And it's just back to this, what we've been saying over and over again. The roster that WWE, the main roster that WWE has, it's one of their best. It's one of the best rosters they've ever had, but they don't utilize them. They don't push them to the point where they don't feel like superstars, that they have to keep relying on bringing back Undertaker, Goldberg, Triple H. They had to bring Shawn Michaels out of retirement. All of that. You could have had many of these people be your next stars. But right now, the biggest... when you look at the storylines on Raw and SmackDown, there really is no storylines going on. There's really two storylines. One, the R-Truth with the 24/7 title, which it's only being used for humor purposes. Granted, it actually is funny. It's actually humorous to watch. It's one of the only things I watch the show for. And then your main story is pushing Shane McMahon. See, maybe if you push Shane McMahon as the authority figure, sure, but you're pushing him when you're in the ring, pushing him in the ring as a top star, basically beating your roster. What's the point?
Yeah, if he was an authority figure and Drew McIntyre, Elias, and the Revival were getting all the wins that he's getting, then yeah, this is fine. This is awesome. But they went the other way. And now Drew McIntyre, Elias, and the Revival, other than the tag team title win, look like his bitches, and that shouldn't be.
It's the authority storyline all over again, where it's Triple H and Stephanie taking over the shows. But the difference is, Shane McMahon doesn't really have the charisma to really pull this off.
Triple H and Stephanie made it work.
It's like in time,
as much as it could, as much as they could. It started in the beginning,
but in time, it grew into like, okay, this thing's been going on for 2 years now. Let it go. This Shane McMahon being best in the world happened since Crown Jewel, and it's been building up to him eventually becoming heel, and the whole McMahon family saying that WWE Universe is the authority figures now, but there was no point of that, because literally that same show they pretty much threw that out the window by them still booking stuff, being involved in storylines and all that nonsense. And now you have Shane McMahon being the new authority, which he doesn't have the charisma, and they're not having him be a new authority to push your talent. They're doing it to push Shane McMahon. That's not the right thing. That's not the right call. And now it's slowly becoming Shane McMahon's not getting the heel heat. He's just getting the go away heat, and it's pushing your audience away. To now SmackDown has just now reached under that 2 million mark.
This is all I'm going to say on the matter for right now. I know that this whole situation has people fairly nervous. I think we'll all agree that the Shane McMahon WWE Champion scenario is a very, very poor one. However, I will also go a step further and say that is just a bunch of rampant speculation at this point.
Let's hope so.
I am convinced that it will not happen. I do see Shane McMahon as a major heel on the shows for at least the next little while, but no more than that. However, if it does come to pass exactly as we are talking about and fearing, I suspect that it will be the final straw for a lot of people, and then you will see some major upheaval in the wrestling world. But until when that happens,
you'll see major upheaval at Fox Studios.
Yeah.
When nobody.
If and when that comes to pass, we're not going to see it.
Because Fox has said they're expecting 3 million viewers a week for SmackDown. They're at 2 million. They're under 2 million right now, and a lot of that is based on what they're doing with Shane McMahon. So, okay, they're gonna look at that and be like, at some point, if this is still going on when SmackDown goes on the Fox network, how long are they going to sit on that number? How long are they going to allow the WWE to have Friday nights with that number of under 2 million. Okay, this isn't USA or any of that where they'll take anything you give. Okay, this is Fox. You don't do the numbers, you're out. Okay, and they won't give you any rope. Okay, they'll give you the winter season. They'll give you to WrestleMania from October when it starts. If they don't get up to that number, okay, they're out after WrestleMania. That's the Fox way. Okay, so you better finish this up quick and not go where we're talking about it going, because you won't be talking about 2 million at that point. You'll be talking about closer to 1.
And speaking of taking care of business, until we find out some more definite details, we have our next match, Lars Sullivan defeating Lucha House Party, but not in the way I was expecting.
Not in the way anyone was expecting.
What happened at Raw should have been what happened at at Super Showdown.
I still don't understand why they did this. They've had explanations, but I didn't look into it because it's now that point.
They changed the finish.
I don't care.
That wasn't the finish. They changed it right beforehand. I think the finish was supposed to be what happened on Raw. And I guess WWE went, we want this to be on TV where we know people will watch it. Well, then why did you do this?
But this is Lars Sullivan's first match. And you have him win by a disqualification?
Yep. It makes no sense. It's the WWE way at this point.
And then just have him dominate after the match, and then you have him basically destroy them on Raw, which there was a couple of spots where I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, you almost killed them. Especially what happened to, not Kalisto.
Dorado.
Lince Dorado. He was throwing him to that turnbuckle. Not even close. He went basically head down to the floor. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to kill these guys. You are dangerous in the ring. And I'm not just meaning it as character-wise. Wrestler-wise, you're dangerous in the ring. And whatever type of momentum they were trying to go for you, they were killing it. When they had him lose his first match in a disqualification, and they're killing it from him point of view, showing that he's dangerous in the ring. I don't care for Lars Sullivan anymore. I was intrigued.
Neither do I.
I was intrigued at first, but now out. There's no character. There's nothing to get invested in. You're dangerous in the ring to your other to your fellow wrestlers, and you're just nothing more than just fodder to the big baby face to defeat you. And once that happens, you're going to be to the point of complete irrelevance, where you're probably going to turn into what Heidenreich was just reading silly poetry and becoming a complete and utter joke.
Is he going to try to rape Michael Cole?
Not if we're lucky.
I don't know.
No.
He's got some rape face going on. That guy, he really does.
He's gonna become a cartoon character. It's like every monster heel that they bring in.
Well, hell,
he's gonna be the next great cheese.
Just listening to the promo he cut, that's cartoon heel.
He's the next great cheese. He's getting basically pushed to the stars, and then he loses to the big face, and then he's just going to become a cartoon character, and he's going to do la ba da ba da la ba da ba da la ba da ba da.
He better not be the next great cheese, because the great cheese won the title before he came that.
It's Vince McMahon. He's a big guy. He's in love with him.
Well, can we move on to some brighter circumstances here?
If you call this bright,
I will certainly invest in this at the very least.
For one particular reason.
Yes. This is the match. Little did we know that this would be the match that would determine the Scholars of Wrestling Championship for the month. Randy Orton defeated Triple H, and you were the only one who called it, so this was the difference maker, and even above and beyond that, this was my personal match of the day or night.
It really was an entertaining match. My only real criticism I had with it is that it went too long.
This just proved to me that I'm on the completely different end of the spectrum here. Okay, because the last 3 to 4 minutes, very entertaining, very enjoyable. The 20 minutes before that, I was bored out of my mind.
There definitely was aspects in the middle of the match that were boring. I was watching. I'm like, all right, I will give it. These guys definitely know each other back and in. They are putting on a good match with basically little to no build at all. And for what they were bringing, and to a guy who recently tore a pec, Triple H was moving really well. And
I can't even bring that into it because his match with Batista at WrestleMania was great too, and he was still working on that pec at that time. So it's like,
well, the difference between Batista and Randy Orton is Batista's match was more of a story match. This one was actually This one was was more of a wrestling.
Yeah, I just can't give it high marks because of it. It wasn't just boring. I was falling asleep in the middle of the day watching this match. Because
I couldn't because I was watching it at work.
It's one of those. It's just one of those things where, for me personally, it goes back to the WrestleMania main event that they had. I just don't think that these two are very compatible in the ring. Like the last they don't need the 25 minutes that they get because the first 20 minutes are boring as shit always. But then the last four, but then they turn it up in the last 4 minutes. But the last 4 minutes is basically finisher fest with some table suplexes in between. So it's like, yeah, okay, the last 4 minutes are good of a 25-minute match.
You definitely need to shave at least 10 minutes from this match.
If this was 15 minutes, I'd be more willing to.
It probably would have been my
the good things that you're saying about it. But with that extra 10 minutes, I can't.
I will agree. I will agree with you. There were very boring moments, but they definitely did do stuff that brought me back. Not fully, but it did brought me back because it also did. It's like, okay, now you're boring me again, and then
I'm bored. You're boring me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
oh, they went outside. Okay, we're looking at it. Okay, they're back in the ring. They're back in the ring. You're boring me again.
When Triple H hit that pedigree, I'm like, oh, this match is over. Oh no, this match is still going on. That was like reaching my point. I'm like, God, this match is still happening.
I knew that they were. I knew that they were going to trade finishers. I knew that they were. I knew that they both were kicking out of the first finisher. Whoever hit the second one first was going to win.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as
Triple H,
as soon as Triple H ran into the ring after Randy Orton was chilling in there for a minute, I'm like, well,
RKO.
That's the end of our little showdown, because as soon as he started running, I'm like, RKO, here we go. Very predictable, which is fine most times. This was a house show match times 2 because it was given extra time, and the extra time it was given was so boring. So it's like I give it as high marks as I can, but all I gotta say is it almost made me fall asleep in the middle of the thing. That's it.
And that's a shame. Cause I will give them credit for having a less than predictable outcome, which, again, could someone predict it? Yeah, someone did. So good for you. But in the meantime, this was still a bright spot in an otherwise largely dreary card. Now, moving on, we also had Braun Strowman defeating Bobby Lashley. This one was quite a bit more predictable.
I was fine with this.
It actually...
This was a good big man match.
It actually, yeah, it was. For a big man match, I was expecting more like Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg won at WrestleMania 20. That's what I was expecting. But
thank goodness it wasn't that.
It actually wasn't, and surprisingly enough, I felt like these two actually tried. And it really, like, it made me respect it a little more. It, like, for a big guy match, I'm like, you know what? Good for you two.
Yeah,
you're actually looking like you're actually trying to do something, and they actually were doing a couple of spots.
Yeah, I enjoyed this mostly because they kept it short.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these aren't guys that you need in the ring for more than 10 minutes, so they kept it short. They did exactly what they needed to do. They showed Bobby Lashley can pick him up like a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and and Braun Strowman got to do his fan favorite moveset. Everybody went home happy. This was another one. It's like, this was fine. It was an enjoyable watch. I didn't hate anything. It was there. It was enjoyable. Huzzah! And after the boredom that I had in the last match, this kind of got me back into it a little bit because it was short, to the point, got what it needed to get done, and that makes me happy.
Yes, and it was around this point where I needed to leave the house. So I actually had, from this point on in the show, I actually had to go back and finish watching it at a later time. But that also means I also had to miss this next match, Kofi Kingston beating Dolph Ziggler, like I think we all expected.
This was the definition. Okay, we've been talking about house show matches the entire card, but this was the definition of a house show match. This is a WWE title match. Went less than 10 minutes. Nothing special happened. Dolph Ziggler looked like a bitch at the end. And it leads into the better, stronger match that is going to come at Stomping Grounds when they get in the cage. Because we all know that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
This was the definition of a practice match. They practiced their stuff in order to hone it for the big time match coming next weekend.
It's just a shame. I wanted to be invested in this. I like both guys a lot, but there's basically no meat to it. It's just skin and bones, in my opinion. So it's hard for me to really get invested, and then it's just...
It should have been me!
And then they're just continuing that storyline when they had it on SmackDown, the six-man tag match. Like, oh, Dolph Ziggler is six-man tag. The returning... One, you got the returning Big E. And two, you get Dolph Ziggler teaming up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Which, Sami Zayn, since he's come back, hasn't won a single match.
And it's not even that. He gets murdered after every match he's in. So he takes the pin, and then he gets the crap beat out of him.
So, again, there's no reason to be invested because even the SmackDown it was a house show. Like, it was a house show main event. So honestly, it's like, what's the point of getting invested in this? Like I said, I want to be invested, but there's no point to be invested in it.
There was no point to being invested in this match because you knew that they were going to have a bigger match at the American pay-per-view. So this was to practice, get the kinks out, all that, because we know that Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston work well together. We remember the Intercontinental title feud back in the day where they were trading the titles back and forth on SmackDown and Raw before the brand split and all that. So we know that they can go. They needed to get the kinks out, so they put it on the smaller pay-per-view to do that, to lead into the big, huge cage match at the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view where they're going to go all out.
Too bad. Not a lot of people are gonna be there. Apparently, the tickets are just not selling for that event.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Very, very odd.
I've actually seen the seating charts of it, of like available seats. Honestly, you could just put them on the camera side, and that's your entire amount of people who bought the tickets.
That's sad.
It is sad.
That is sad. But hopefully this will be a taste of things to come, and things will eventually change. But until then, we got to appeal to the crowd that we've got, which brings us to the Battle Royal, which I'm surprised that none of us saw this coming. Mansoor.
Oh,
Mansoor.
wait.
Oh.
You got to point correct on this. The 50-man Battle Royal that had 51 participants.
Yes.
So false advertising against. What are you gonna do?
But you're absolutely right. I cannot believe. How did we miss this?
And this was this was exactly what everyone knew it was gonna be. You can't put 51 people in a ring together and expect a good show. Okay, it didn't even get interesting until they were down to like the final 10.
And it's just
Sin
from what I read,
Cara eliminated Shinsuke Nakamura. Sin Cara eliminated Shinsuke Nakamura.
It's just like just from what I've been
I'm
reading.
reserving my
What I've been
there.
reading about this match in particular, they did not give at all two shits about this match.
Oh yeah.
There were no
there
was no spots, and literally everyone was there just to be meat. And all the wrestlers were there. All the wrestlers who didn't want to be there because they know they're just there to lose, to just basically get, like as some people call it, they're just nothing more than meat.
They are literally there for the paycheck.
There was no time invested in this match.
Yeah,
backstage, creative wise, they're just like, go out there and just do something.
I did,
and just from how it went, you can tell that's what happened.
I did like the feel good moment. I did like the promo after the match. I do think that Mansoor, when they actually do decide to do something with him, can go far in this business. Okay, Cesaro did well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did like that he had to eliminate Cesaro and Elias to win the match. It wasn't like a fluke. He had to actually get them out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. But with 51 people in the ring, knowing that it's going to be uninspired, knowing that nobody gave a crap about it backstage, there's only so much you could do. There was no way that this was ever going to be good.
51 guys in a ring, in the same ring, with 100-degree weather.
Ugh.
You could just imagine it would probably be hard to breathe.
The man funk.
The man funk is just so much heat, like stemming off them. Where, like I said, it would probably be hard to work, hard to breathe in that environment.
Yeesh.
So let's not do that again, okay, WWE?
Yeah,
One time was enough.
You already got Mansoor over. He's, memeing it up somewhere. I actually kind of like the guy. Mm-hmm. So I hope he actually shows up on WWE TV more, on regular WWE TV more, and actually do something with him.
Keep him on
NXT for a bit. He's had 2 matches.
Eventually.
He's had 2 matches. Let's slow down.
No, at this point, you're like, I think I put one meme down. Like, you're the NXT guy, and you're getting your WWE call up, and you're basically being dragged out the door. No, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go, mommy.
I don't want to go. That's pretty much what it is now.
Oh boy. Well,
you're at that point where you don't want to go to the main roster.
Mm.
And now we get to the elephant in the room.
Yes, this one
was sad.
Yeah,
and
Undertaker defeating Goldberg in the main event. And you know what? Honestly, to me, this match didn't start off too poorly.
No, it started off exactly how I thought this was going to be.
The first 5 minutes, well, actually the first 20, because I'm going to do the entrances too. Okay. The first 20 minutes of this segment were exactly what they needed to be. Okay. Once he rammed his head
into that turnbuckle?
Into the turnbuckle?
Oh, yeah.
Undertaker should have made the call. Okay. It's one of those, you see him stumbling around the ring. Okay. You see blood dripping everywhere. You know, okay, that he's not all there. Okay. That you should have made the call at that point to we're ending it.
Yeah,
just hit the tombstone correctly. Don't drop him on his head. That's where it began.
Eerie.
That's where the turnbuckle is where everything took a turn. Okay,
yeah.
At that point, as soon as he hit the turnbuckle and started stumbling around, should have hit the tombstone. Told him,
"Stay down.
You're not well. Stay down." Okay, hit the tombstone pin. It's all over. Okay. Instead, we had 2 minutes where I thought 2 old men were about to die.
Oh boy!
The scariest part was that jackhammer.
The
oh man, that was.
And even
that could have gone so horrible.
Goldberg did tell us he wasn't all there.
Oh,
he was not there. He was knocked out.
The lights were on, but no one was home.
Yeah, so it's
a mixture of that. 52, 54-year-old wrestling and 100 degrees in there.
There's no reason this match should have went on but longer than that 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly right.
They got everything they needed to get done in that 5 minutes. You got the 2 spears. You got the 2 surprise spears. You got the choke slam.
You didn't need to do like the attempted reverse tombstone.
You didn't need to do that.
At that second, pretty much when that happened, when they tried to do the tombstone reversal and they just both fell to the floor, I'm just like, oh my god, this is not good.
That was when I knew there's no saving this. Just end it, stop the pain.
And then you get the Hulk Hogan choke slam to basically just end the match there. Like that.
That was the call that was made. That was
so legit.
That was it.
So legit. Okay, that last 3 minutes was something that the Undertaker, as the one who could see what was going on. Okay, Bill Goldberg goes 110%, no matter what. Mm-hmm. As soon as they whipped him in to the turnbuckle, I knew something was going to hit hard in that turnbuckle, because say what you want about Bill Goldberg, okay, everything he does in that ring, he does it 110%. As hard as he possibly can. So as soon as his head hit that ring post, okay, the Undertaker.
And then adding that to the fact that he does his whole momentum build backstage. He slams his head into a locker.
But you know what? That probably didn't help. But once again, that first 5 minutes was fine with that. So when he runs,
just basically like all I can say is that it weakened the shield of Bill Goldberg. Mm-hmm. And then once he hit his head on the turnbuckle, boom, lights are out.
It's off.
Exactly. And the Undertaker's been in this business for how long? He's seen it. He should know that at that point, you don't follow the script of the match anymore. You don't try to. At that point, the lights are out. Nobody's home. He's stumbling. He's leaning against the ring, against the ropes, okay? And you have never seen Goldberg lean against the ropes like that. If you're seeing something that somebody doesn't do and he's doing it, okay, at that point,
tread lightly.
Not even tread lightly. End it. Call it. Mm. You're the backstage locker room leader. You see this shit all the time. Of all people, you can make that call. Okay, we can't go anymore. I'm tombstoning you. Don't kick out. You're done. The match was going to end on a tombstone anyway,
And
probably.
That could have that honestly could have cost him. Like if he just like back to that jackhammer. That was scary.
Exactly.
It was just, oh my God.
That could have cost you, at the very least, your legs, your walking ability. Okay, because you didn't call for the end when you should have.
And just
way too airy.
And the look on Taker's face as soon as the match ended.
He knew.
It was the equivalent of Sting's face when Jeff Hardy came to that pay-per-view stoned out of his mind. It was that look. It's like, yeah, this is bullshit, I know, but at least in that one at least with Undertaker and Goldberg, it's not like Goldberg came in drugged out of his mind or something.
It was an accident.
No, there was an accident. There was an accident, and he lost all capability in his body.
Mm-hmm. And just the fan footage of Goldberg outside the ring collapsing.
Yeah,
I was scared. I'm like, oh my God, this is no good.
Exactly. And the Undertaker.
Back to the argument that Vince, you need to stop.
Yeah.
You need to stop relying on these legends.
I can honestly say that I don't need to see these two anymore. I'm good.
I wish that I'm of the opinion, and I said this before, that I wish Undertaker retired after his WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns.
As soon as he put that hat down, yeah.
That
Exactly.
should have been it, period.
Yep.
But then again,
you get the Crown Prince wanting it, because remember, this is a show for one.
Yep.
Then again, it's that now you're going into like some very serious philosophical territory. Like even though your mind, by all logic, should say that, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. That I need to retire. I physically cannot go like I used to. But then again,
they throw you that Saudi money.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Am I going to say no to millions and millions of dollars?
I mean,
and to be fair, the match probably should have been like 5 minutes and all that. But once that accident hit, it basically it stretched from there. It probably should have been like the tombstone kick out, and like them trying to like pull the jackhammer and all that.
They were going to go the route of Triple H and Randy Orton. They were going to trade finishers.
Mm-hmm.
One was going to hit the tombstone. One was going to hit the jackhammer. They were both going to kick out. Whoever hit their finishing move second was going to get the win. So, but once you see an injury,
you need to
get out of there. You need to go home. In wrestling terms, you need to go home immediately. Because they tried to continue it. Both of them got put at risk for more damage than needed to happen.
And that face Taker made probably is like, I should have ended this sooner.
It was rough shape, but hopefully all parties involved have learned their lesson and this won't happen again.
My roommate came home he was out all day, came home, was like, I want to watch Undertaker Goldberg. I'm like, okay.
No, you don't.
I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm hanging out in my room for a bit. I don't need to see that again. And he's like, why? I'm like, you'll find out.
Yeah, this one was rough. Again, I had to go back and watch this. I had to see. It was, in my eyes, it was also built up as being this horrible train wreck. So, again, the first part of the match, I didn't think it was that bad. But, again, that fateful head blow just changed everything. And it was very sad. But thankfully, that was the end of the show. So that being said, gentlemen, facial hair rating. What would you rate this pay-per-view?
For me, this pay-per-view was just a disaster. Had some good moments, but in the end, as of right now, this is my least favorite pay-per-view of the year so far. But because of those couple of good things, I'm gonna give it a peach fuzz.
I'm gonna give it a peach fuzz too, 2 out of 5. There was a lot that just did not register here. It wasn't a total loss, but there was still way too much.
It makes me not look forward to any more Saudi Arabia shows.
At all. I've already been to that point for quite a while now. Brian?
Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, this isn't my least favorite one. That goes to Crown Jewel. I think everyone agrees with me here. Mm-hmm. But this was basically, as we said, it's a house show. Okay, so a lot was fine. There were some good moments. There were a lot of bad. Okay, I'm gonna agree. We're across the board here. It's a peach fuzz. As I said, there's not enough bad to bring it down to a clean shave. Like, if someone asked me to watch this show, there would only be 2 matches that I refuse to watch. Okay, I would not watch Shane versus Roman, and I would not watch The Undertaker Goldberg. Everything else, okay, I would drink through Randy Orton and Triple H to keep myself awake. But other than that, okay, everything else is fine. House show fair. And a house show fair gets a peach fuzz.
There you go, peach fuzz across the board. But now, of course, now is the time where we turn it over to you, our wrestling and viewing fellow fans and audience. You all go by many other names, but you know who you are. What did you think of Super Showdown? Was it every bit the disaster that you thought it would, or did it catch you by surprise a little bit? We want to hear from you. So, of course, wherever you are all across the internet, drop us a line, throw us likes, throw us love, and most importantly, throw us your opinions. And if you want to get a little up close and personal with your opinions, you can always join us all on Twitter, starting with our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. And of course, you can also follow us on our personal accounts. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
And Boombox Brian, Beefcase Brian, ye of many names.
You can find me bopping my head to my
You got
to
that?
my boom case.
You got that?
Beefcase Boombox.
Wow, I'm off today. But
we've all done it.
You can find me at Atomic Beamhole.
And you can find me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join the conversation. See where we go with the belts and the beef cases next.
Oh, I'm looking for a new challenger. That's what I'm going for.
If only we could find one. But then again, that saga will continue onward in the next episode.
Only so many times I can beat you two.
Before we beat you back. The trash talk will continue because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all next time for another pay-per-view in the books.